there, I'm Savannah Abney, CCO here at Breezy, and today we're talking about investing in content. So most of the time people come to us, they've never really gotten into content creation before. They haven't really explored content marketing and what it can do for their business. So a lot of times people come to us and they already understand they need content marketing. They know they need to be creating ongoing content to establish their brand, create brand awareness, establish themselves in their industry, create thought leadership, and gain some credibility as well. But they don't necessarily know what kinds of content to start with or where they should be putting their resources, time, money, all of that. And a lot of times you have a very fixed budget and you're ready to do some kind of content creation, some kind of content marketing, but you only have so much money and you don't know where to start with putting that money and where you should start that investment. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about where you might wanna start. It really depends on your industry, the type of organization you're in, the type of company you have. So sometimes it can be a bit of a unique answer, but there are some general tips that we can give you and kind of help you decide where you should start with your money, where you should start investing, and where you should put your resources first as you grow into your content marketing efforts. So, quick disclaimer, we recommend all 4 of the content types that we're about to get into. So we kind of tend to believe that all content falls into like 4 of these categories. Not 100% of the time, but most types of content fall into these like 4 categories of content. We recommend all 4, and we believe a true comprehensive and full content marketing strategy will include all of these. However, everyone's budget is different. If you're just now getting into content marketing for the first time, you're probably trying to tread lightly, you're a little bit nervous, let's see how it goes, let's see what the ROI is, all that. So we're gonna break down the 4 different types of content that you can invest in, and then kind of give you some tips around, based on your industry, type of business, all that kind of thing, what you should be investing in first and prioritizing. So first things first, social media content. This is probably a duh to most of you watching this, because if you're watching this, you're likely on some type of social media, more than likely. And so that's how you're even seeing this content. But that's kind of the point. Social media is such a duh for most every company, industry, type of organization. So at this point in 2020, it's not just good to be on social media, it's bad to not be on social media. So even if you're in an industry or you have an organization that's not necessarily going to see like tons of conversions based on social media, look at social media very differently and as a different type of investment. This is a brand awareness investment. It's a brand equity investment. It is a credibility investment. It is a thought leadership investment. All those things are very, very important, and you may not be able to put a dollar amount to each of those things, but investing in social media content that is valuable to your audience, is showing who your brand is and that you're available and care, and honestly, just that you're actually putting stuff out there. When you go to someone's social media profile that hasn't posted in months, it comes across as unprofessional. And if you have no social media, people are like, well, what are you doing? This is 2020, everyone has social media. So at this point, like I said, you can't just be on it. It's not just good to be on it. It's bad to not be on social media. So we recommend social media as kind of that entry level of content marketing. If you're not doing any other content, social media is the place to be, and it's typically the most affordable type of content to invest in first. Second type of content is blog content. This is an industry standard. Every content creator will tell you that having a blog is super important for SEO, establishing credibility, establishing thought leadership, all those same things. It's really, really important. It especially becomes most important if you're in an industry that needs a lot of explaining. It's not a really mainstream industry. Maybe you're in some kind of education, a learning software, healthcare. You have a product that's a more obscure type thing. This becomes even more important because you really need to be able to explain to your audience in a more long form way why your product or service matters, what it's all about, and really trying to create that buy-in with your audience. Again, SEO is super important for everybody, so I think everybody can really benefit from blog content, but service-based businesses and companies and obscure industries are really going to benefit even more from it. And don't forget that blog content and blog writing doesn't have to be the really standard like long form written content. There's so many other ways to go about doing it. If you want to do video blogging that you can combine with transcriptions to continue to get that written SEO content that'll really benefit you, but you can do it in a more creative way that feels and it fits more with your brand or how you like to get content out there. So There's a lot of creative ways to go about blog writing, but that is definitely that second tier, that if you are ready to kind of dive into social media content, or you already have and you're ready to kind of up the ante and go to more content, blog writing is kind of that next piece we would recommend that you invest in. The third type of content is SEO content. Now, if you're already engaged with a specific SEO company that is running like your PPC, your paid ads, they're going through and doing backlinking and citations and all kinds of things throughout your site and doing a ton of SEO work, this may not be the place for you to start. You might already be getting a lot of bang for your buck with your engagement with them, and you may not need to invest in further SEO content. They may even be providing that for you. However, if you're not ready to invest in that level, because sometimes that's a lot more money and a lot more investment, if you're not ready to go there yet, but you would like to make strides towards improving your SEO, creating some SEO content is a great, approachable, and affordable way to start. Obviously, blog writing is that very first step that we would recommend, but SEO content, adding new pages to your site, having an SEO content writer go through your site and optimize your existing content, having someone going through your old blog posts and constantly updating them with new and fresh content that makes people like you. All those things can be really, really good, approachable, and affordable ways to continue to increase your SEO as you're kind of working into your investment in content marketing. So again, a lot of people can benefit from this, but if you already have a site with a lot of content on it that you want optimized, this might be a great place for you to start. Or if you really feel like we haven't ever, invested in SEO and we're not ready to take a full big plunge in there, but we'd like to do some things, this can also be a great place to start for you as well. The last piece of content that we're going to talk about are premium resources. So this is everything from tip sheets and checklists and infographics to ebooks and e-guides. And pretty much every industry has some type of lead magnet. Every single type of business can create some kind of lead magnet that's going to work for them. The biggest thing is finding what works for your business, for your industry, and what actually is going to draw in your target customer, because it's going to be different based on all of those factors. This is definitely that fourth tier of content. So we really recommend invest in the other three we talked about: social media content, blog content, and SEO content first. And then once you kind of establish all of those pieces, then get into these premium resources and make sure that you're finding something that's really going to fit what you're trying to do. Are you trying to grow your email list? Are you trying to just draw in people? Are you trying to kind of survey people and see what they're interested in or what they want to learn about? All those sorts of things. So that's kind of the last piece. These tend to be a little more investment heavy as well. They tend to take a little more time to create, take a little more investment. So usually it also requires a little more of a financial investment on the customer's end. So we really recommend go ahead and start with those other three pieces. And then once you've kind of gotten your, you've kind of been checking out content marketing, you're a little more comfortable with it, then dive into the premium resources. So that's kind of a quick overview of the 4 different types of content to kind of give you an idea maybe where you want to start based on your company size, what your investment can be, all that kind of good stuff. We're going to dive deeper into this in our next video, talking about what the content strategy or content investment should look like if you are a service-based company versus a product-based company. Those are very, very different and very different content strategies typically. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more, so stay tuned for that. But if you have any questions between now and then and you want to get some recommendations on where you should start your investment in content, we'd love to help. Just shoot us an email at info@breezycontent.com and we'll be happy to help.